Morning world, it's Thursday the 14th of January, it's about 8:30 a.m. in the morning UK time. In this last 12 hours, we've had Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury and the Moon all in the first 5-6 degrees of Aquarius. It's been a really big conjunction, which somehow I managed to miss in the craziness of this last week. But all of those people born in over the period of the first 4 days, say from the 20th, 21st through to about the 26th, 27th of January, the 21st through to the 27th of April, and then similarly the 21st to the 27th of July and the 22nd through to the 28th of October. This last couple of days has been very intense, and it's going to continue in the short term. As we speak, Jupiter's now at about 4-5 degrees of Aquarius. Saturn's approaching 2 degrees of Aquarius. Mercury's now at 5-6 degrees of Aquarius. The Moon's got to be somewhere around 9-10 degrees of Aquarius. They're all squaring Mars in Taurus. Mars moved into Taurus just over a week ago, and it's now beginning to pick up speed. It's now about 3 degrees of Taurus, and all of these planets are now getting ready to impact upon Uranus, and this becomes stronger and stronger over the coming 6 or 7 days, and it's at peak around the 19th, 20th, 21st of this month. And I will do something on the inauguration in America in the next few days. I'm not going to do it today. It's when you're in the middle of something, it rapidly becomes the new normal. And I'm amazed at how many of my friends, colleagues, and especially clients seem to be adapting, coping, and actually in some cases doing well in themselves with the craziness of these times, as represented by the intensity of the astrological patterns in the sky, which is way out of normal. I've not known a time like this in 40 plus years of studying astrological patterns. And we're not through it yet. But in the last few hours, I mean, I don't do astrological threat levels, but if I did, I'd be saying that in the last few hours, in the last 12 hours, the astrological threat level has dropped from 9 to 8. And it's going to drop to 7 over the course of the day. But then it's going to stabilise there and then pick up again. And we will go back up to 8 or 9, possibly a little bit more, as we get towards the 20th of this month. But after this, from about, from a few days' time now, not yet, but soon, we enter into, you're going to hate me for this, we enter into Mercury retrograde shadow. Mercury is going to go retrograde at the end of January in Aquarius. And it's going to stand still in late Aquarius and then go retrograde back into mid-Aquarius. So in a few days' time, Mercury is going to pass on the point where it will station when it stops going backwards in the middle of February. This is called Mercury retrograde pre-shadow. And what it means is that from a few days' time, from about, say, the 16th, 17th, 2 or 3 days from now, any new project, plan, decision that is formulated, any new ideas that come out of the blue are not going to work the way you expect until you've given it some serious thought. And I would strongly advise anyone against making any new major changes of course in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Well, really until Mercury has stopped going retrograde, which won't be till about the 20th of February, so 4 or 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. because it won't work out the way you expect. Now, there is a case for saying when Mercury's retrograde that things can actually work better than you expect. And in rare cases, this does happen. But that happens with people who are very flexible and adaptable and who go with the flow and who adapt to emerging changes as they develop. Most people aren't like that. Most people come into a new project or a new idea with a set pattern in mind about how it's going to evolve and what the schedule is. And then when it doesn't work like that, they can easily get frustrated or impatient. The Mercury retrograde that's coming up isn't going to be impacting on any of the outer planets. It's not really going to be touching Pluto, Uranus, Neptune, Saturn. It's going to impact on Jupiter a little bit, but not a big deal. Mars it's going to impact on, definitely. There's going to be an ongoing square from Mercury to Mars, here today, gone tomorrow, but forward, backward, over the next couple of months. And this is going to keep the levels of, relative levels of impatience and irritation going. And it won't really clear until the end of February. But, you know, I'm 3 days a week, I'm doing readings for clients. And I'm seeing constantly, still to this day, that more and more people seem to be entering from early mid-March onwards into a year of relative stability, calm, with no new major crises and traumas. The exceptions to this are those people who are being affected by the Saturn-Uranus square. And I've covered this before, but I'll repeat the birthdays just so that I know I've covered myself. I'm basically talking about people born at the end of the first week of August, November, May, and late January, early February. It's only 2 or 3 or 4 people from each sign, so it's about 16 to 18 people out of 365. So it's 5% of people are being affected by this. But that's enough to create a difficulty in the world. I'll have to look at that the closer it gets. But Saturn isn't going to start squaring Uranus until we're into March. So there's no real need for me to look at that yet. There's other things more important now. In the meantime, we're still in the craziness of January. But it is going to get better. And yeah, the last few days have been extremely intense for many people in many different ways. And this is slightly decreased now, but it's not going to change that much over the next week. But the more we get into the 22nd, 23rd, as we approach the Mercury retrograde, I honestly think we're going to see the first signs of a decrease in the urgency and the immediacy. There's a kind of peak now this next week. We're at the top of the curve of pressure. And once we're past the 20th, I'm going to start to breathe deeper again. And so can you. Catch you later, folks. Speak to you in the next day or so. Speak to you tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Bye.